Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Insider Essay, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to the Africa along our gorgeous coastlines. Multi-SAMA winning artist Simphiwe Dana takes time to unwind in a luxurious life-size sandcastle. Reconnect with her Eastern Cape roots after the devastating loss of her wonderful mother and find a new way forward. A young generation of eco-entrepreneurs find novel ways to show off the ancient forests and hidden beaches of their Indian Ocean island homes of Pralin and Digue. Seychelles Fashion Week draws designers from across the African continent to its catwalks. Get a first-timer's guide to the coastal hiker's dream Otter Trail with reality TV star Darren Solomon, and experience the joy of two young South African professionals plunging into a whole new world in our renowned natural treasure of Aliwal Shoal, KwaZulu-Natal. As coastlines go, this untouched stretch between Tropika and East London is home to the perfectly named Sandcastle. Organically styled after African anthills, it was the perfect stage on which to catch up with Eastern Cape-born and raised songstress Simphiwe Dana.
Music has been the soundtrack of our lives. Growing up in the village, I grew up using my voice as an instrument a lot.
It was hearing her mother sing which inspired Simphiwe's international career.
Mary Makeba, there has been a lot of comparisons to her, and I accept them wholeheartedly. I feel quite honored to be compared to someone who is such a genius and such a perfectionist in the way that she handled her work. I may walk in her footsteps, which I hope that I do, but I'm forging a new path. I'm perhaps hopefully taking on from where she left off, and let's see what becomes of me.
Her latest album, Bamako, co-produced with Malian legend Salif Keita, was released during a momentous time in her life.
I write based on my experiences of the human condition, how people survive, how people find happiness. I think I must have come to the Eastern Cape about 4 times now since my mother's passing. That every time I come, I'm reminded of who I am. I lost my appetite completely when my mother passed. And I found myself not having a compass. It's been my compass all my life. And that is why, like in every album, I always honor her with a song.
A retired nurse, Simphiwe's mother caught COVID while volunteering at a retirement home.
I don't think I've ever been in a place like this before. It's my first time experiencing, things as they saying it's Xhosa. That's the way. And to think that this is how we used to live.
Battling to create work for her band members during lockdown, this global jazz icon identifies strongly with the realities faced by rural women.
The Case Kama project was established in 2000. Dr. Carol Baker, she started it because of poverty in our area. So we're just, by doing this artwork, trying to heal other communities about HIV, showing them that the HIV doesn't stop the life. Life has to continue. This lady that is wearing mourning clothes and that old lady, they are still alive.
Oh, so it's a real life story of people that abahlala up in Hamburg.
Yeah, she lost her husband from HIV, but she survived.
What is very interesting for me about this place is that their embroidery tells the story of the community, how HIV affected this community and in a dark and twisted way brought them closer together rather.
The piece that we are working on right now, which is our COVID piece, we started that piece during this COVID. We were sort of like lacking of having work for the ladies to do. So guys, how can we do a piece that is like telling the story that we are living on it during this time of COVID? So that way we started that piece.
As an artist who makes her living live and had to resort to online concerts, Simphiwe might well embroider her own story.
Now I'm just showing you the basic, of which is a stem stitch that we normally use for on top of the drawing. Your thread should be on the outside every now and then. Okay. Just throw it there and then you poke again. So let's see if you can sing and sew in this, at the same time.
How we talk about women, how we see women, you know, and that is for me the main underlying cause of so much GBV that we have, because amadoda akababoni abafazi as their equals. Usindile njalo kwinkathazo ezininzi, kwinkathazo ezininzi.
Lo mthi ke ngumthunzi lo.
Ewe.
Ngumthi oveza iziqhamo ezininzi. Zigreen but xa sezivuthiwe zibabomvu.
Coming from the hustle of the city and having grown up as Lalin, ever since coming back, there's a part of me that has quietened down. Being around here, like looking at this vegetation, literally I'm remembering, because I used to play in this grass with my friends when we were kids, helping remind me who I am.
While her best songs deal head-on with life, they are also about harmony.
Yeah, ixesha elinintsi ke njengoba uzibona phaya ziyathanda uhlala kunye. Isefu ziyathanda udlala nejirafu ngoba ngezona zingathanda zitya nasetafeni nasimatye azinangxabano, azinangxaki kakhulu uhlala kunye.
Reconnecting with home proved a welcome bridge into Miss Dana's new year, and her host for the weekend, Kara Sky, had some fun planned too.
So Simphiwe, we're at the Gosha River, and I thought we'd just go for a little spot of canoeing. I believe you've done this before.
Well, 100 years ago, yes. How deep is this water?
Oh, the water's shallow, maybe about half a meter. You'll be absolutely fine.
Okay, cool. Let's try it out then.
New horizons include acting in the SAFTA-nominated film Joko Yahao. And if good storylines and scripts come her way, Simphiwe may do more.
My future plans. Now that my kids are older, I want to travel and be more between SA and the rest of the world and establish a stronger base. In Europe, for instance. So that's what I intend to do. I think I got the piece that I was looking for. That's the experience that I'm taking away from this place. I got the piece. I enjoyed the canoeing. That was fun. I enjoyed the embroidering. That also was fun, but more about learning about the history of the place and the stories of those strong women. That was really powerful, truly a wonderful experience. Thank you to the Insider SA for coming along for this lovely joyride. And thank you to you guys at home for joining us.
I don't have a drink. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to those who will follow where Simphiwe has led. Coming up, in the Seychelles, a daughter takes up her father's work. preserving the epic island forests, and crystal clear kayaks are the new way to snorkel the reefs. This journey around the coastlines and forests of Digue and Praslin Islands in the Seychelles bears out the hope that Nelson Mandela held for Africa, that the future belongs to our youth. First, we met Medina Labudalon, raised by her environmentalist father and now an eco-tour entrepreneur on Praslin.
So if you look here, we have an example of the male palm of the Coco de Mer. And actually the male can go up till about 30 meters height. And for the female, it's always about 24 meters. And in the middle, that's a juvenile or young Coco de Mer palm. And it's only around 25 years that you can state if the palm is male or female. Now you can see a real example of the male and female palm. So the fertilization has been done well. And even for the female, they can hold about 25 to 35 nuts. The pollination between male and female palm, this is done actually by wind or by the gecko. Because actually when the gecko, they go on the yellow flowers, they carry the pollen accidentally to the female flower. And then it will grow into a Coco de Mer.
Isolated on these islands, evolving slowly, the palms remain close to their ancient state.
This is the Latanya Aubin, the smallest palm in the six. If you look at the leaf, you may think that somebody cut it off, but it's grown naturally like this. Here you can see the jackfruit, and the jackfruit is originated from Southeast Asia. It's grown the trunk, can weigh about 10 kilos. So country like Mauritius, Réunion, India, people, they use it a lot as a vegetable, but in Seychelles, we eat it more as fruits. Okay, but before you eat it, you always have to oil your hand because there's lots of glue. But it's very sweet. It's a mixture of banana and overripe pineapple. Okay, so this is the palm spider. And as you can see, have a nice color, orange and black. Palm spiders because it can reach the size of the palm of the hand. And it's always the female which get much more bigger than the male. And the male, they are very tiny, and there are cases at time. The female, they eat the male. We have the bois rouge, one of our Seychelles hardwood, which is endemic. And the bois rouge, it's because of the first leaf, it's always red, and then the bark, it's red. And the black parrot, they love to feed on the fruits of the bois rouge when it's ripe. And actually on the top, we do have two black parrots having fun.
And when a nut falls in the forest, you don't want to be under that tree.
We are so lucky that we have spot the Coco de Mer who have just fallen down. And it's very heavy, and you can see the color. It's a bit brownish. That's when the Coco de Mer is 6 to 7 years. So it's no longer the fruit. At this stage, it's the seed which is going to regerminate to give us another palm.
For his contribution to the botany, natural history and conservation of the Greater Seychelles, Medina's father, Victorin Labudalon, has a local fern named after him. In his daughter's hands, these unique ecosystems have their next champion.
We have reached the highest peak here in the Vallée des Mers, where we have the shelter viewpoint, and we have all the standing palm here in the National Park of Praslin. And you can also heard the bird, like the black parrot and the Seychelles bulbul.
Another of the largest islands in the archipelago is Digue, which is only reachable by ferry from Praslin. First inhabited by 18th century political rebels exiled by France, today it's a place no visitor ever wants to leave.
Hello, my name is Yassine Jacques. Welcome to Digue. I'm going to show you our beautiful island. We are at the port of Digue. The name of the place is called La Paz. I'm going to drive you at Grandas Beach after Soustagent, and we can see around the beautiful things that we have on the island. The island is 5 kilometers by 3 kilometers, and there's around 3,500 people living on this island.
Where vanilla and extracting oil from dried coconuts used to be the mainstay of the local economy, tourism has by far outgrown the old cash crops, and it's easy to see why.
La Digue, it's an island of bicycle. You can see everybody riding a bicycle. The few cars that you see is only for commercial.
No need to Photoshop tourism brochures here. The island is picture perfect.
We are at Grandas Beach. It is among the 10 most beautiful beaches in the world.
If La Digue is named after a ship in the fleet of a French explorer 2.5 centuries ago, its future has everything to do with the clear-eyed vision of the next generation. Like enterprising young islander Anis Jacob.
So Seychelles is probably one of the most well-known stretches of beaches in the world. 4 sections of beautiful white sandy beach divided by granite boulders. Now our tour starts off by putting you guys in crystal kayaks and taking you straight out to enjoy the panoramic views. Our tour features around the movie Robinson Crusoe, which was filmed in the 1980s on La Digue, on this very beach right here. So it's a really cool mix of kayak, beach, jungle, coconut caves, and the guests enjoyed very much. We're looking forward to taking you guys out on the water, so see you there.
As well as the island cuisine being famous for its calamari, lobster, and every kind of sustainably fished seafood under the sea, the reef fish are a spectacle, especially when viewed through these genius kayaks.
Now right below me we got some formations of little corals. What we have right here is a nursery for baby fish, and right behind me a mushroom coral. Now we're sitting in a glass kayak, crystal kayak, so no better way than to do snorkeling without getting wet. So you can see the fish right down, right below you. So we showed the guests on tour a little bit of the different formations and the different types of animals, and we make it fun in that aspect. So yeah, that rock's called Shark Rocks.
Maybe not something to shout to anxious tourists, Anis.
This view right behind me is the reason why Seychelles Beach is voted the most photographed beach in the entire world. Now we have some of the famous rocks right behind me. We have the Coco de Mer rocks, that looks like the biggest nut found in the Seychelles. And over there we have the Kissing rocks. Now I won't tell you anymore, you're gonna have to come on tour to find out more about what we explain about. But for now, have a look at that view. Woo!
Definitely more of the kissing theme and less of the shark variety.
So the granite you see behind me dates millions of years old, and it's been formed by millions of years of oceanic erosion combined with weathering. So this is one of the major tourist attractions here. It's basically just to be part of this granite and walk between the boulders. So yeah, I mean, I don't need to say any more. So we've had some famous commercials over the last couple of years filmed here. We've had Miss World, Miss Universe, so it's really a beach that if it's not on your bucket list yet, well, you better have it on your bucket list. So we look forward to welcoming you guys to paradise, and maybe see you soon. Woo!
Visit for the endless variety of fish dishes from the seas, the botanical marvels, impossible to believe seascapes, or just the hearty spirit of the people. But do visit the Seychelles. Still to come, from South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana and the Gulf, Africa's designers and stylistas gather to grow the island flair on show at Seychelles Fashion Week. If the question was what can you do for your continent, then one good answer would be Seychelles Fashion Week. This was the 4th edition for the stylish island nation. Driven by founder Terry Carolla, it is out to build a broader, tighter African community of design, modeling and fashion that maximizes opportunity for young talent.
Well, the idea to launch the Seychelles Fashion Week started in 2013. It was important for me to have other things to do for the models, and I came up with this idea so that we give the local designer the platform and we create an event that more models from Seychelles will take part and grow the industry.
Here to play their part were 6 South African designers in a show of solidarity with others from across the continent, dressing Seychelles models in African originals.
I am Makosazana Ncangase, all the way from South Africa. My brand name is called Seychelles Fashion. I'm actually very happy to be here in Seychelles, to be precise, Eden Island. And my collection for today is an African flair. It's very new, it's very fresh. It was inspired by our continent. Our continent has 55 countries in it. So each and every print that is in there represents our African continent, and it represents every female that we have within our continent.
Focusing on the sisters, while not forgetting the fellas, we discovered these men's timepieces with a Lunga Ntuli twist.
Ellen Watches was founded in 2016. I wanted to communicate the message of love, it being inspired by the Zulu love letter. Back in the days, guys will write letters to their loved ones, so that hardly happens now. So we thought that what could be one of the medium languages of communicating or expressing that love. Then I thought that, you know what, using beads will actually work, and so that is how the watch was founded. And then there was what you call utu as well back in the Zulu culture, where a woman will beat something, then give that to a man as a form of saying, I love you and I want to remain with you for the rest of my life.
Women designers like Precious Lulu were making statements of intent in an array of fabrics, silhouettes, and detailing.
The collection is called Survivor, or Survival. You're gonna see a whole lot of tassels, a whole lot of strings and ropes, and that is us detangling ourselves from the situations that we are facing, be it monetary, be it health issues and whatnot. And you're gonna see a whole lot of androgynous pieces. You're gonna see cat suits, you're gonna see party dresses, there's a lot of evening gowns as well, glitz and glam, and of course, ethnic African prints as well.
The strong Zulu influence at this year's Fashion Week included a collection by Silungile Mokoena.
My main outfits, it's African Queen, because on that outfit, I actually brought the Zulu culture into the island in Seychelles. So it's a fully beaded, draping a beaded cape with a Zulu hat, isiqholo, and that is what symbolizes a Zulu African queen. I am expecting the audience to be happy, because my collection is all about being confident in everything that you wear. Regardless of what you are wearing, you need to walk out, proudly walk out, step into each and every situation with pride.
I just can't wait for everybody to see the rest of my collection. Tonight, I'm going to be showcasing everything that I have, all my connection. This is just a tip of an iceberg.
Of great interest here was Makosazana Nchangase's use of avant-garde designs for maximum impact on Instagram, and with it, a host of international orders.
I have 3 showstoppers. One has a beautiful red, it's fully dressed, but it has a little bit of naughtiness in it. And then the middle one, it's gonna be dress number 5. It also has a little bit of naughtiness. It speaks about me and my character. And then the last one, the main showstopper, is a nice mini dress. It's amazing. It speaks more about the African flow.
Silungile Mokoena was channeling the colors of the Indian Ocean island waters in her offering.
My main color of my collection is turquoise green, and turquoise is self-confidence, self-love. So I believe that as an African, as a South African, as a Zulu, I need to actually be grounded, know who I am, know where I come from, and express that in whatever I do.
It was an African union of fashion with Ghanaian TV personality Anita Akwi Akufu, both reporting and representing.
So I think the designers are amazing. They have great designs, and I'll definitely pick a whole lot of the designs I saw. They're good, and I'm proud of them. So because I'm from Ghana, I decided to go for something Ghanaian, and this is kente. It's called kente in Ghana. It's our indigenous fabric, and every Ghanaian knows what kente is like. So I wanted to represent something Ghanaian, and that's why I went for this by kind courtesy of my designer, Ajwa Eboa.
Local designer Atalia Babi saw her sales rocket during COVID as clients couldn't buy online.
Okay, so this is the first time actually I am participating in this Seychelles Fashion Week. I am using the African fabric because I want to introduce it to the Seychelles and to make them see what they can do with the collection. It's casual, it's beachwear, it's formal as well, so it's varied.
While showcasing his work, Nigeria's Ikene Paul applauded South Africa's promotion of all African design.
Romeo Paul Design, it's a unique brand that is classic, and the outfit we're showcasing tonight is called the Confidence. If you have the confidence in what you're wearing, you carry yourself in that way. Fashion is all about your appearance. Our outfit, you can say, is unique. It's not mass-produced, so it's just for people that love style and want to appear in a classic way. So yeah, I've seen some of the South African designers and their designs is really encouraging. Seeing the South Africans coming to showcase here, and like we heard, most of them are being sponsored by the government. It means that the government is very interested in the fashion industry, and not just the fashion industry at home in South Africa, but in other parts of Africa.
The South African government has been very great to us. About 6 designers are coming from KZN, sponsored by Department of Trade and Investment in KZN. It's a great partnership between Seychelles and Seychelles Fashion Week, the Department of Tourism in Seychelles, and the Department of Trade and Investment in KZN. This is my 3rd time here. I was the first designer from South Africa to make it here in 2018. But I fell in love with the country, I fell in love with the people, the nature here, the culture here, and I have been influenced by what they have to bring.
16 designers from South, West, East Africa and the Gulf states made for an event worth shouting about to radio host Derek Meriton.
This 4th edition of the Seychelles Fashion Week has been tremendous. It's been absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed watching Ellen Watches, right? I love the concept of the beads, South African beads, Zulu beads, and interpreting it. I'm a big color person, so it was absolutely beautiful to see.
MC Sylvie Atima struck the perfect tone for the week.
The designs are bold. We all know with art, with fashion, it needs to be bold, it needs to make a statement, it needs to be a reference of conversation everywhere. In a way as well, it set the examples for future fashion shows in the Seychelles, future fashion designers in the Seychelles to be bold, just like tonight.
The real talking was done on the runway in dazzling African style.
Thank you, the Insider SA, for coming to the Seychelles and sharing the Seychelles Fashion Week, the 4th edition, to the rest of Africa.
Our congratulations to the Seychelles for getting on top of all the tricky global protocols needed to make this happen. And to the fashion industry across our continent, here's to a thriving 2022 for all of you. Just ahead, rivers so clean you can drink from them, beaches all your own, and wonders around every corner. But the Otter Trail will make you work for every one of them. Reality TV finalist Darren Solomon is known for beating man-made challenges, and as a pioneer of social media marketing, he blazes trails instead of following them. So, as a first-timer hiking the natural gauntlet and splendor of South Africa's renowned Otter Trail, he felt confident, but also cautious that only an unwise man takes on nature without humility.
All right, guys, so it's the night before the hike starts, and here we are, busy packing. Feeling a bit nervous for tomorrow's hike. I don't know what to expect. How fit am I? Well, we'll see that on the hike.
He'd taken tips from those who'd done it and listened to his gran too.
The Otter Trail is the oldest and most iconic trail in Southern Africa. And when the opportunity came forth, I couldn't say no. Spoke to my gran and she said, Darren, you are definitely doing this. It's a 5-day hike and I've got to carry everything on my back. It's a challenge, but I'm not backing out.
The veterans say pack no more than 1/4 of your body weight or these 44 Ks will punish you.
So the time has come, the hike has started, and I'm ready for the Otter Trail. Let the adventure begin. It's day one, I'm ready, I'm energetic, I've got everything packed. There's no turning back, so we gotta go. The hike starts at the Storms River mouth in Tropika National Park. I'm walking through these trees and it just feels like I'm in a different land. It feels like I'm in some enchanted forest.
With your pack at its heaviest the first day, rock hopping is a serious balancing act. But Darren was on it.
The day starts with me winding through the coastal forest, very fresh, very green, and absolutely breathtaking. My love for travel really started back when I was a little kid in school, and year after year we'd go out with a group of friends, just going to different places and camping. And sort of after school we'd travel to other places such as the Garden Route or the West Coast, and taking it further and going to neighboring countries such as Namibia and Europe. Weaving along the coast, I come across the Digue River waterfall, and it's one of the highlights of day one, and I can honestly say I know why. We finally made it to the waterfall, and it's absolutely a beautiful scene. I'm tempted to jump in, but let's first test the waters. When hiking, I enjoy jumping into rock pools. This time it's going to be no different. It's going to be epic, it's going to be awesome. I've got the confidence. Let's do this! Woo! Made it! First time jumping into a rock pool next to a waterfall.
They made this leg the shortest of the 5 as your warm-up for what's to come.
Just arrived at the Ngubu hut. It's the end of day one. What an amazing start. It's time to relax and prepare myself for tomorrow.
Before sundowners, it's a plan to put food safely away, or the local Cape Jennets will raid the kitchen, and by morning, you'll have nooks.
It's the start of day 2. Woke up bright and early, have my coffee in my hand and my oats. This is all the energy I need to kick off the day. All you can hear is the sound of the ocean. So peaceful, so beautiful. Absolutely love it.
Something to try is hiking with a decent-sized walking stick.
It's the start of day 2, and I believe we're starting off with a steep incline all the way to the top of the mountain called COASTLINES, where I'm in for a huge surprise with amazing panoramic views. And I cannot do this hike without my trusty stick, and I've named it George. So, let's get on it. I'm walking through the forest, and this place reminds me of Narnia. It really has a magical feel. As I come out the forest, the terrain just changes, and it's just beautiful flowers all around me.
With all due respect to Instagram, the only way to see this is firsthand.
Oh my days! It's even better than I imagined. This is the COASTLINES Quartz Outcrop. Panoramic views, which is absolutely breathtaking. I feel on top of the world, baby! Woo! COASTLINES, you're amazing, but I need to get back on track. There's still a long day ahead of me.
This is leopard territory, but they steer clear of people, so you're lucky if you see one.
Oh my days, my legs are feeling sore, but I know there's a special beach waiting for me. We decided to take a detour 500 meters from where we're about to go, and we're here at a beautiful private beach called Blowby. Feeling a little tired and hot, so I think it's time to jump in the ocean.
Darren hoped to meet one of the Cape clawless otters that the trail is named after, but they were a bit on the shy side.
The swarm was exactly what I needed, but now it's time to get back on the track and head to the hut. Sure, these inclines are not easy, and my legs are really feeling it. I just hope that the huts are around the corner.
Hikers here pick up litter instead of dropping it, so the trail is pristine and litter-free.
Wow, wow, wow. Right, so it's the end of day 2. We've just arrived at the camp. Beautiful scenery right here. I'm gonna be staying in this hut, and this is a 5-star view.
What you eat and drink with your sunsets is a trade-off. If you can lug it on your back with a smile, great. If not, then cook smart.
Welcome to Darren's Hiking Food Masterclass, where I'll be showing you exactly what you need when cooking on a hike. All you need is your dehydrated food, a pot with some water, a gas stove, and, can't forget, a lid. Just gonna give this a little stir, and you can smell all the spices, all those rich nutrients. The couscous is coming really nice. I think this is gonna be a delicious meal. Wow, wow, wow. Definitely #1 on a hiking trail.
By your third morning, you begin to appreciate packing well.
It's day 3, the sun's out, another beautiful day to hike on the Otter Trail. But before that, we just need to pack in a few things before we hit the road. We need our food for the day. This is gonna give us all the nutrition and the calories that we need for an awesome hike. First aid kit, always safety first. And my hat, don't wanna get a sunstroke. And lastly, the map.
Darren wasn't saying if he'd used any of the plasters or anti-inflammatories in his kit, and we didn't ask.
I can't believe how diverse this place is. You go from forest to shoreline, to forest again, to shoreline. Like, you can't get bored of this place. I come around the bend, I see a river, it's Aliwal River. I know I'm gonna have to cross it, so it's time to take off our shoes.
This is one of the many rivers and streams you can freely drink from. And if your constitution is a bit sensitive, then water purification tablets will see you right.
Just finished crossing the Aliwal River. It's quite a breeze with my stick George. Yeah, just marked my territory. Feels like I'm in the middle of nowhere. After crossing the river, followed epic coastal, cliff, and forestry sceneries.
With so much of the wider area having suffered drought and fire, it was a blessing to see all this water.
Made it to the end of day 3. The huts are right over there. The only thing standing between me and those huts is this river, one of the 2 major river crossings on this Otter Trail. I think we messed up our times a little, so we might have to swim.
Nah, the crossing was a breeze. Darren had his grandma looking out for him.
Ha! Just got lucky. Just crossed the Lottering River without having to swim. Just rock climb my way all the way to the huts. I hope I'm this lucky tomorrow at the infamous Blowkrans River. Let's see what tomorrow holds for us. Sure, these inclines are killing me. As a first timer, a tip to you viewers, don't pack heavy. Every gram counts. It's the end of day 3. We've arrived at the campsite called Oakhurst. I think after a long day, this is a perfect place to rest and relax.
As simple as the beds are, it's amazing how good they feel after a long day's trek.
Okay, it's day 4, the longest day on the Otter. We have a big day ahead of us. We've got the Blowkrans River to cross. So I need to be there on time to time the tides. Just give me another 5 more minutes before we go. The day started off with more beautiful coastal forest, where we then came out onto amazing scenery of the ocean, following the coastal line, where I took a moment just to take in and appreciate the beauty and the nature.
Now, without knocking your favorite podcast or YouTube channel, if you want to escape for real and maybe find yourself along the trail, this is how you do it.
I decided to take a pit stop along the way to have a coffee and enjoy the magnificent views.
This is the longest stretch, and with that in mind, they've made the payoff a showstopper.
Just arrived at the Blowkrans River. This is the major river crossing on the Otter Trail. So if you get your tides wrong, well, you're in for a swim. Before crossing a river, you're going to need a survival bag. And this is how it looks. Before closing it, just roll it at least 2 to 3 times, clip it in, and then you're ready to cross the river.
If picnic baskets and champagne glasses are more your thing, that's cool, but the Otter Trail may not be for you.
I'm crossing the blow crans, and I'm just getting excited. You know, the nerves are actually fading away, and I'm just getting closer and closer to the Western Cape.
Visitors from across the planet fly here to experience this, and it's right here on our doorstep.
Woo! Just made it to the other side, feeling absolutely thrilled and happy. Blow Crans River, you are officially tipped.
By this stage, you are thanking those hiking blogs which advise that you wear light running socks inside your hiking socks to avoid blistered feet.
House on the beach, just what I wanted. Man, I'll never get tired of these views.
Unless you're the local baboons who seem a bit over the whole experience. You can't please everybody.
It's the final day of the Otter Trail. It's been 4 days of a lot of walking, and my legs are feeling just a little bit sore. So every morning I do my routine stretches. I live by the philosophy of if I look good, I'll feel good. If I feel good, I'll do good. Legs are feeling good, good to go.
One wants to be careful saying things like that. This trail will make you eat your words.
The day starts off with another uphill trajectory. My legs are definitely feeling it. I'm walking along the path, there's just beautiful fynbos all around me. Just arrived at Nature's Valley. We just have the last stretch across the beach. Feels a little bit sad that it's all coming to an end very soon.
Nothing you find here can be taken home, so the treasure remains for all.
It's a blessing to have these wilderness areas right on our doorstep. And it's a privilege to be able to hike and have these experiences. But we can't take this for granted. It's up to all of us to protect and conserve our natural environment.
There are 80 kilometers of protected beach, forest and coast along here, and Darren had only seen half of it.
Absolutely ecstatic, so happy, thrilled. What an amazing experience. Definitely one for the books. If I ever decide to do this again, I'll definitely reconsider packing a bit lighter, but all around, an amazing experience.
If it's for the adventure, beauty, joy, challenge, or you have something you really need to walk your way through, try the trail.
We made it! We finished the 5-day Otter Trail hike. Woo! I just survived my first 5-day hike. Can't wait for the next one.
And to the Tsitsikamma National Park team who keep it this way, thank you. Right after this, no adventure magazine, wildlife documentaries, or even the finest aquarium comes close to the live diving thrill of experiencing Aliwal Shoal for the very first time.
Sponsored by Capitec. Simplify banking. Live better.
Part of living better is discovering treasures you already have but weren't aware of. So Capitec's Esona Ndongeni and Chandre Matlala went looking beneath the surface with one of their merchants, bringing South Africans closer to our rich ocean heritage.
My name is Micah Bush. I'm co-owner with my husband Nico of ScubaXcursion, and we specialize in everything ocean. My husband, who was already a scuba diver, tried to convince me to dive for many years, and eventually when he did convince me, I just couldn't get enough of it. And he said to me, Mike, at the rate you're going, we might as well buy a boat. And I said, well, that's a good idea. And here we are.
How this proudly South African business has navigated the perfect storm of the pandemic has much to do with their strong and personal banking relationship.
What really appealed to me about Capitec is that they asked the right questions and they made sure that I had the right product for our business. And definitely the personal contact. We've got local area representation, and if you phone them, you'd get an answer within the same day. I was also very impressed with them
when lockdown hit, because I had an SMS from Capitec to say, we're here for you, we're supporting you. And it was especially welcoming for a business that had to completely close during that time. I think our background in this industry is it's something that was created out of passion and wanting to introduce the general public to the ocean. Our youngest students are 10 years old and our oldest student was 72 when he did his open water course. So our focus is to introduce people and then also to create a platform where people can go all the way up to becoming instructors and then also help us show people our beautiful underwater world.
As well prepared as they were, Esona and Chandre were awed at themselves just going for it, diving the Indian Ocean for their first time ever. Trips are done daily here off the beach at Scottsboro, KwaZulu-Natal, where dive skipper Ashley Smith has fantastic reveals in store.
Yeah, guys, where we have arrived to now is the Aliwal Shoal. There are quite a few dive sites on this area, but we have stopped at a dive site called Chandre, a very shallow part of the reef sitting at 14 meters. Lots of action there, lots of reef fish. We're going to get you in, first of all, handing out those fins and masks. We'll get our dive master to jump in. He'll be waiting for you in the water, so you're going to feel safe. You're going to snorkel, have a lovely drift along the shore. It's quite a lot of reef here, and we'll see what we can see along the way. It is shallow all the way through the middle, so it should be lovely. We always have a resident pod of dolphins. They're always in the area, which is lovely. So 9 out of 10 times we're getting those. We get lots of turtles, lots of reef fish, that sort of stuff. So it's sort of like a lucky packet. We never know what we're going to find, which makes it very exciting for the trip.
Not many people know this, but Aliwal Shoal is rated as one of the top 10 dive sites in the world. You don't get the biodiversity and the combination of marine life that we have and the abundance thereof anywhere else in the world. The whole of Aliwal Shoal is like a fossilized sand dune. So basically imagine for yourself walking through a mountainscape, but you're underwater. So it's got beautiful gullies and crevices and things to explore.
Their two newest snorkelers took in the experience with all 5 senses and became instant fans.
The ScubaXcursions team is great. They literally hold your hand in the water if you need it. It was a bit of a challenge to breathe, but once you got the hang of it,
yeah, that's true.
It was a float in the sea. What do you call? I wanted to say a walk in the park, but no, a float in the sea. It was a float in the sea. We saw sharks, we saw dolphins, we saw some turtles, some little fishies. Don't know what they're called, but that was really amazing.
Yeah.
We saw this shark that had a fish swimming on top of it where they have a symbiotic relationship and feed together. I mean, where else can you see these things but out there in the big bad ocean? It was so cool.
In the space of a morning, 2 young banking professionals had plunged into a new world and become instant ambassadors of our unrivaled marine life.
It was a bit challenging, but what I can definitely say is it was rewarding. I had an amazing time. It was genuinely, honestly, such a great experience. I can't even.
I still get goosebumps every time we get the opportunity to take people into the ocean for the first time, and that reaction that they have when they come back after 11 years, almost 12 years in business, I still get goosebumps.
We did it!
To live better in 2022 by exploring the natural wonders on your doorstep. Get started now as you stand a chance of winning a 1,000 Rand Live Better cash prize. Simply reply to the competition post on the insidersa.co.za social media platforms using #LiveBetter. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website. Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 5:30. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.